Hi everyone, welcome back. It's been a little while. Like I said in my email, spring breaks are losing their appeal. The last two spring breaks have not brought about good things. Anyway, we're back. I want to take some time to go over a few of the changes I made to adjust to, this whole shift that we're experiencing. And so hopefully this won't take too long. First of all, go in and open up the syllabus and you will see I've changed it just a little bit. I've switched up some due dates and just go clear down to the bottom. There it is. I've switched up some due dates and pushed everything back a week. I've removed an assignment this week because I didn't want you to come back after 2 weeks of break and be, pummeled with a bunch of stuff. So this is going to be a light week. I want you to take the time to review and all of that kind of stuff, but look at the syllabus, see what's there, see what, how the dates have changed. But let's get right into this week, what we're doing. And I'm going to go down, and of course there are the assignments right there, but I want to go into week 6, even though that was the week before spring break. Go back here and just look back at what we've done in the past. What's been so frustrating about last week is not just that class was canceled, but that we didn't have access to this. We didn't have the chance to review and to look over what we've been doing, and so it's really easy to forget. I mean, it's amazing how fast we can forget what we were doing. So go back to week 6 and review that a little bit. And then, spring break we had right here. Remind you again, there's some great sources on quotes and using quoting and paraphrasing. But here, let's look at week 7, what we're going to be doing here. You're only going to be turning in, let me make sure I have this right. Yes, you're only going to be turning in one thing all week, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be a busy week. Okay, the first thing that I want you all to do is to review what type of assignment we're working on. Okay, that's important to do anyway, but we really need to do it right now. So I've got that right here, and I'll open that up a little bit. On Thursday, we have something due. All of this other stuff looks intimidating, but it really isn't. I'm burying you in tutorials and sources and guides and handouts on how to find good, credible sources for this writing project that we are working on right now. This is a research writing project. So our credibility as researchers, our credibility as writers are largely dependent on the sources and the information that we base our opinions on and that we use to support our opinions. And so it's really important that we find good, credible sources. And so I have a whole lot of information right there. But let's look into what I have here and do a little review. Okay, so here's where I'm going to be posting this video. Let me move my screen up. And here is just the overview of writing projects 2 and 3 because they're linked. Okay, writing project 3 is going to be an actual essay that we are writing, an argumentative essay where we are going to introduce a topic to our audience and share our opinion on that issue, on that topic, and persuade them of the validity of our opinion. Okay, that's coming up in part 3. But writing project 3. Writing project 2 is all about the research. It's an annotated bibliography where we are going to record the sources that we have gathered together that's going to help support and guide our research. Okay, so we're taking a little bit more time with this research to kind of, demonstrate the importance of it and what exactly we're doing. We're not out there just harvesting quotes, like we maybe did in high school. We are doing some research. We're withholding our judgment. We're suspending our judgment until we listen. Remember Chimamanda Adichie, the importance of listening to different stories and different experiences, different perspectives. And so we are suspending our judgment until we do some research and we listen to what everybody else is saying about the issue that we care about, that we're going to be writing about. And then we are going to form our opinion and present that opinion to our audience. But first, writing project 2 is the annotated bibliography. And for this annotated bibliography, I've got a little bit of information right here. But if you go into the next one, that's where I get into a little bit more detail. we are gathering 6 sources. Okay, and each of these sources do a little bit different job. Okay, they're all going to be focused on our topic, the specific lens that we are going to be looking at our topic. So if we're looking at social media, if we're looking at the effects of social media on the mental health of teens, if we come across a really interesting article on social media and its economic impact, okay, that's really interesting, but that's not applicable. That doesn't apply to what we are going to be, the specific way and the specific issue and research question that we're going to be looking at. And so it's really important that we keep that in mind. And that's why it's really important to form that research question so that we can write it out, maybe stick it, in our header or stick it up on our monitor screen so it's always in front of our eyes so that we know exactly what type of sources we're going to be gathering. Okay, but we are going to be gathering 6 sources. One's going to be a reference source, okay, from the library, it doesn't have to be the library, that would be the best source, but it's going to be like a dictionary, an encyclopedia, some kind of reference source that just provides information, like dictionary, history for, let's say a dictionary for background, or I'm sorry, dictionary for definitions, and an encyclopedia for backgrounds and history and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's important. And I'm sorry, I've got something in my eye and it's distracting me. So I hope I can keep going on. The next 3 sources are important and they're unusual. They're going to be sources that demonstrate sides of the debate. So remember, again, going back to Chimamanda Adichie and the danger of the single story, we want to listen to different types of perspectives, even if we don't agree with them. Okay, it's still important to listen to them. And so these next 3 sources are going to be articles where credible authors have written either about their research or their opinion on this issue, and they've made an argument. They said, okay, this is what needs to be happening, or this is what the problem is, this is what needs to be done, or something like that. And we're going to gather those 3 sources where people have, they could all agree, but even if they all agree, they're going to be bringing in different reasons and different types of evidence. So any 3 sources that kind of demonstrate the breadth of the debate, the perspectives in the debate. And the last 2 sources are going to be sources that, as we listen to these other 3, our opinions are going to be forming. And the last 2 are going to be sources that we think we can use to support our opinion, that agree with us. Okay, if you have any questions on that, you let me know. Okay, and then we are going to be writing an annotated bibliography. Here's a handout of what that looks like. Okay, there's some instructions right there. This is a basic overview of what it looks like. Okay, we're going to have the citation for each source, the MLA citation in full. We're going to have a paragraph about 4 or 5 sentences that summarize that article. We're going to gather a quote. Okay, we're going to find a quote, something that's quote worthy. Don't just blindly, hey, that looks like a good sentence, I'm going to put that in here. Okay, something that's quote worthy, that's really impactful, that they've said really well, that's really interesting. And then the last little paragraph is going to be only about 3 sentences or so on how you can use this source in your article. Okay, or in your essay. What does it provide that's interesting? Is it a perspective? Is it a definition? Is it, some good information? Okay, so this kind of information, this kind of annotated bibliography is a great way to organize our sources as we do these big projects. So that's why we're practicing that. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is a student example of exactly what this looks like. And this is an example from a student that wrote for me, and this is a little bit different type of a, no, it wasn't. It's about the same things, about the same type of article. And this is her annotated bibliography, and it was about cooking and her research question. So we're going to have a short introduction here. Okay, just very short. I think I only had like 125 words or something. A short introduction that introduces to your audience what you're doing with this annotated bibliography, and it's going to include the research question. Okay, what was the question that compelled you to gather these sources? Okay, and then if you go through here, it is, it's very formulaic. You'll have the full MLA citation. You'll have an article, or a summary, a few sentences, a summary. This article goes over the history, blah, blah, blah. A quote, and then a little paragraph, a few sentences on how you can use it. So she writes, this article will be fantastic for the beginning of my thesis and talking about the history of cooking and sharing food and a little more of the introduction, blah, blah, blah. So that paragraph is all for her. Okay, how can she use that? Then she goes right into the next one. Do you see how we have the hanging indentation? So the first line of the citation is flush left and everything else is indented. And she just does that over and over. Here's the third one. Okay, paragraph, small quote, and just a couple sentences. She could have put one more on how she can use that. And that's basically what this is. Okay, this annotated bibliography. So review those. And I'm sorry I'm being wordy. And I might even have to close off early. But let's see what's next is I just want to know what your research question is. Okay, that's all this is. Read over that, read over the assignment, review what we've been studying or what you have been looking at. And I want to know what that research question is. What is your project going to be about? What's the question that's going to compel you going forward? And then the next few things are just a lot of tutorials, a lot of stuff on research. You know, there's researching, you know, through databases, at the library. Remember, a couple of our sources need to be from peer-reviewed scholarly journal articles, and it explains on here what those are. Those are, you know, some good Procon. I'm going to go back here. Procon is an awesome site for finding those different sides of the debate. Okay, that's a good place to start. And let's see, evaluating sources, making sure they're credible for college research, credible, and at the, you know, criteria, at the, I don't know, what's the word? The criteria expected at this level. And again, here's, you know, a page that has information on what are the differences between a magazine article and a peer-reviewed article. Let's see, there's all this kind of stuff. Okay, so I've given you so much stuff. Skim through it at first, find some question or find some bits of information that answer the questions that you have. I really recommend, let me get back in here to modules to find the beginning of this. I really recommend that you start with the Mesa Community College page, because this shows you how to work. These are guides for Mesa using our library. Okay, and so start there. That's all that we're going to be doing this week. So take time to review, to, you know, kind of get your land legs. Is that the right word? I don't know. Just get ready. Just get back into the flow of all of this. And you please let me know if you have any questions, okay? All right, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.